What's going on, everybody? Sunburnt Holiday here to give you a fun little video. Something really interesting just came across my radar. Great article written in Gizmodo, and we're going to talk about it. So, let's switch over to here. CVS is being sued for selling bullshit homeopathic products. Oh, interesting. For those who are unfamiliar, CVS Pharmacy is a huge mega chain of pharmacies selling their various products, medicines, get your prescription filled, but also they sell a bunch of bullshit, which is not uncommon for especially American pharmacies. It's kind of frustrating. But the pharmacy and retail chain CVS has been hit with a civil lawsuit over its marketing of what might be the silliest kind of pseudoscience to still enjoy a modicum of popularity. It alleges that CVS has defrauded the general public by implying homeopathic remedies sold at its stores and online are every bit as effective for treating illnesses as FDA-approved over-the-counter drugs. And I've run into this myself quite a few times. For instance, when my kid got colds or had the flu or something like that, I would go into, it wasn't a CVS, it was actually a Walgreens. But right next to the actual legit medicine, like cold or flu medicine, you would have ones and you'd have to look at the box. You'd have to look, because if you didn't look carefully, it would say homeopathic. Or if you turned it around, it would have supplement facts instead of, like medical facts or whatever they usually put on the labels of actual medicines. So you have to be really careful. And they're right next to each other, no distinction between the two. So it's very easy for you to accidentally get a homeopathic product when you think you're buying medicine. The lawsuit was filed in late June by the science advocacy organization Center for Inquiry, which is a great organization. They do a lot of good work, in Washington, D.C. Superior Court. According to Nick Little, CFI's legal representation, the complaint comes after years of trying to convince CVS to market homeopathic treatments responsibly, which I'm really not surprised about. I honestly am not. The homeopathic industry is a massive cash cow. In 2016, Little noted that the Federal Trade Commission announced plans to more strictly enforce rules surrounding health claims made about homeopathic remedies. The Food and Drug Administration followed suit with a similar decree in 2017. Yet, and as this will show, not a lot came out of it, unfortunately. The FTC's policy statement issued guidelines that any company selling these treatments should have competent and reliable scientific evidence for health-related claims. Following the announcement, the CFI approached CVS, asking them to revise how they sell homeopathic products in light of the FTC's actions. I genuinely thought that once we brought this to their attention, they'd turn around and say, "You know what, you're right, we should deal with this," Little told Gizmodo during a phone interview, but they didn't. They stopped communication with us, which, of course they would. This is a huge chunk of their profit is slinging this bullshit. And homeopathy, make no mistake, homeopathy is almost the definition of complete bullshit. It makes no sense whatsoever. We'll get into that in just a minute. Afterward, the CFI lodged a formal complaint with DC's Office of Consumer Protection against the chain pharmacy and retail store, but it similarly went nowhere. In response to the complaint, Little said CVS argued that it was within its rights to sell homeopathic remedies because they're legal products, but Little said that's never been their point. The argument isn't that they're illegal, it's about how they're marketing and selling these products, and that really comes down to the crux of the argument. The crux of the argument is, should stores be able to sell whatever they want as long as it's not harming anybody? Well, sure, absolutely. But should it be legal for them to effectively promote these as real, legitimate cures for an ailment that people are spending their hard-earned money on? Are they complicit in people being scammed? And if you were to ask me, and the CFI and the FDA, yeah, they are complicit. This is a problem, something that we have to deal with. That's because, even as the FTC admits in its 2016 policy, homeopathy is widely considered useless bunk, because it is. It's a category of alternative medicine founded in the 1700s, before we even knew germs were a thing. Homeopathy advocates claim that you can treat illnesses by giving people a poisonous substance known to cause those same symptoms. The trick is to dilute the substance in water so much that the water only retains a memory of it, but not the toxic side effects. It's complete hogwash according to the laws of physics. At best, homeopathic treatments are nothing but glorified placebos, but if improperly diluted or otherwise contaminated, they can actually be dangerous or even fatal, which I've done quite a few videos on homeopathy, like the rabies water, where somebody actually made homeopathic treatments from the saliva of a rabid dog. Now, technically speaking, that's not really going to cause somebody to get rabies, but if there's ever, for any reason, a contamination, it's a problem. So, to be clear here, we're not talking about herbal or natural remedies, Little said. This is something that has absolutely no basis in any kind of science whatsoever. CVS did not immediately respond to our request for comment. Of course they didn't. They are filing a lawsuit hoping to take advantage of the city's Consumer Protection Procedures Act, a statute designed to remedy all improper trade practices. Little claims that the act gives the CFI legal permission to go after CVS for alleged fraud without necessarily having to prove that its marketing has directly harmed a specific individual or specific people, only consumers in general. Which, this is interesting too. So, the city's Consumer Protection Procedures Act, where is this being filed? I forgot. Washington, D.C. Okay, and the reason why I wanted to look that up and why I think this is important. So, if you guys remember the Jilly Juice saga, and how Jillian is getting in trouble for some of the practices she's doing, that's because she's being investigated by the Ohio State Attorney General, because Ohio has specific laws in place that they can enforce certain consumer protections. Apparently Washington, D.C. does too. But you have to keep in mind is that this is not these are not federal mandates. These are state mandates or city mandates. There is no United States of America federal law protecting consumers from bullshit. So you kind of have to pick and choose where you're going to attack this from in a legal perspective. So that's something to keep in mind when you're dealing with pseudoscience and woo and people trying to market bad cures. While these remedies may often contain explicit labels that state they haven't been approved to treat, prevent, or cure any disease by the FDA, Little says these labels mean little. Little says these labels mean little, given how they're otherwise advertised and marketed. I mean, if you're in there to buy your cold medicine, are you going to be like examining the box? I mean, you really should, but will the average person? I don't know. For example, the homeopathic treatment oscillococcinum, yeah, okay, said to be made from duck hearts and livers. Made from duck hearts and livers and produced by the French company Boiron, claims that it relieves flu-like symptoms such as body aches, headache, fever, chills, and fatigue, apparently from the memory in the water of duck hearts and livers, I guess. That's interesting. And at CVS chain locations, that complaint alleges the thing, or its own branded remedies, are found in the same aisle as aspirin or Motrin, with no clear distinction identifying them as homeopathic or what that term means. Again, most of these people who sell these bullshit cures, and even big corporations who do it, they rely on your ignorance to be able to sell their bullshit. When you go to their website and type into the search flu remedies, some of the products can get brought up are going to be homeopathic on the CVS website. Little offered as another example. If you put a sign above something saying cold and flu, you're saying that this product treats cold and flu. It's just common sense. Americans are estimated to spend billions on homeopathic treatments every year, and while CVS is the largest pharmacy chain in the U.S. to make money off it, it certainly isn't the only store to do so. Little says the CFI is preparing to go after these culprits as well. Good. Good. Please, by all means, destroy them. We're not turning around and saying that Whole Foods or Rite Aid doing this is any more acceptable. And once this lawsuit is successfully resolved, if other pharmacies or supermarkets are doing the same thing, we'll go after them too. Excellent. This is good news. This is great news. CFI's lawsuit is expected to have its first formal hearing later this September. I will keep an eye on this, absolutely. Although the nonprofit is prepared to duke it out in court with CVS, Little said they'd settle for a compromise. I'd rather the federal government take proper action and stop these products from being sold. And that's a long way down the line, Little said. But as for what CVS should do, I want them to have a separate aisle for homeopathic products, and in that aisle, it should display the FTC's standard warning that there is no scientific evidence for these products. If they're going to keep on carrying these products, Little added, they should be honest with their customers. And I couldn't agree more. The sum and total of it is if you are going to be selling something, you have a responsibility to the people who are going to be purchasing it, that you have communicated to them clearly and effectively, with no bullshit, to the best of your ability, what the product is and what it can do, and whether or not it is considered safe or effective. And homeopathy is not effective. It is technically safe, but it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. You are selling a lie. And I couldn't be happier, and I applaud the CFI for going after them, and I hope they do more, and I can't wait to see where this goes. But anyway, that's just a quick little video for you guys, letting you know some good news of the day, try and brighten up this channel a little bit. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. From my family to yours, stay safe. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.